Over the years, we have witnessed the wonders in the history of UFO sightings, which are rich in different shapes. We have seen unidentified flying objects in the form of a disc, triangle, crescent, cigar, or even torpedo. We have never seen an unidentified flying object in the form of a crescent with a disc in the middle before. A very strange crescent UFO with a middle disc, over Cuba 2019, caught on 2 different cameras. In 2019, residents of a city in Cuba saw an unidentified flying object with a very strange shape that we are not used to see in the history of UFOs. Its shape does not match any of the unidentified flying object shapes that documented throughout the history of the UFO. Where the unidentified flying object appears at first, in the form of a bright orange ball in the sky that flashes regularly in the sky. Then faint wings appear on both sides of this mysterious light ball, which becomes clear after a little time. From the first moment, anyone who saw the unidentified flying object thought that it was in the form of a crescent with a large orange light in the middle. After a short time, another physical body appears in the middle of the unidentified flying object. This time the middle object is in the form of a disc, and something like a tail appears at the back of the disc. It has an S-shaped light that rotates regularly counterclockwise on the underside of the object. All this was in the beginning just a ball of light flying in the sky, from where the wings came, and then the middle object in the form of a disc. Jamie Mauson, a Mexican journalist and ufologist, had previously, when investigating the Carlos Diaz case, he stated that such unidentified flying objects can change from their physical state to a plasma state, as he described, to be able to fly at tremendous speed, and that in this case there is the ability for such objects to it turns into a material that can travel at any speed, without disintegrating or fading away. How does a substance transform from a solid state to a plasmatic state? Some may consider such explanations to be something of a fantasy. I agree with you that it is hard to believe, but if someone described to you one of the modern inventions such as the mobile phone, computers, or even the internet before it was invented, you would also think that this is something of a fantasy. Have you seen something like this before? In fact, we have seen a group of unidentified flying objects similar to this unidentified flying object before. After the summer of 1947. On June 24th, a civilian pilot, Kenneth Arnold, reported seeing 9 unidentified flying objects flying in formation near Mount Rainier. Arnold timing vision. The speed of the discs was estimated at more than 1,200 miles per hour, 1,931 kilometers per hour. At this time, he claimed to have described things flying in a saucer-like manner, which led to press reports on UFOs and flying discs. Then he stated that one of these unidentified flying objects was in the shape of a crescent. He drew an illustration of what he saw that day. The drawing shows an unidentified flying object in the form of a crescent in the middle of a luminous circle, as he described it, which flashes constantly, but it is much smaller than the one that appeared on the unknown flying object in Cuba 2019, and the method of lighting that appears in the drawing is completely different. Kenneth Arnold did not speak of any illumination in the form of S rotates counterclockwise like a scanner of some kind. The UFO shown in Kenneth Arnold's illustration has a short tail and its wings have a wide angle larger than the UFO seen in Cuba 2019. In fact, the closest seen to this also occurred in Cuba on January 26, 2013, when a group of 8 unidentified flying objects was seen in the sky performing a series of maneuvers, as if it were a military parade in a wonderful scene at approximately 1:08 p.m. The unidentified flying objects appeared in the sky at first in the form of lights flying in the sky as well, but this time in white before it became clear that it had a pair of wings and a short tail apparently, but there is no confirmation that there is middle object is in the form of a disc, or it has the light flashes in a letter S. In the celestial phenomenon of 1561 over Nuremberg, and it was a collective witnessing of celestial phenomena, or unidentified flying objects, UFO, over Nuremberg, Germany, some enthusiasts of modern unidentified flying objects have interpreted this phenomenon as an air battle from outside the planet, and this opinion was mostly rejected by skeptics. Among the UFOs described in this event was a large, crescent-shaped UFO containing many lights, flashing at the underside of the UFO. Possible explanations. The first thing that comes to the minds of skeptics about the existence of UFOs is that it is just a secret military technology. I agree with this interpretation in the case of the unidentified flying objects that appeared in 2013, as when they first appeared, they were in the form of light flying in the sky, but this may be due to the reflection of sunlight, especially since it was filmed at about 1 in the afternoon, or this may be due to the low resolution of the camera, or the large distance of the unknown flying objects from the camera lens, and their great height in the sky. And there are no evidence that the middle object was a circle or not. Also, in some of the pictures, the unidentified flying objects appear as if they contain two separate lights in the front of the object. As for the unidentified flying object that appeared in 2019 in Cuba, I think that at first it was only a light in the sky, then wings and material parts began to appear. I do not think that we have such technology, regardless that such UFOs have appeared in Cuba. I do not think there are people who have such a very advanced technology on the planet. And if so, then why did it appear only once and did not appear anywhere else in the world? It is also logical that as a secret technology, it is to remain secret in the sense that it should not be shown to the public or allowed to be photographed. Some may say that the technology used in the manufacture of unidentified flying objects that appeared in 2013 is the same as that used in the manufacture of the unidentified flying objects that appeared in Cuba in 2019 with some development. I hope this is true, and that we have reached this huge level of development. It is a very advanced military technology that Cuba does not have, but it may belong to some developed countries and it came to Cuba. Although Cuba may not possess such highly advanced technology, I doubt that its military and radars will not be able to detect a strange aircraft that has entered its airspace. And if it's so, it has to stay far from the public eye, and does not give them the opportunity to see and photograph it as well. In the end, this unique sighting of an unidentified flying object in the sky of Cuba 2019 remains one of the strangest sightings of unidentified flying objects that need to be explained by the authorities, and this is something that may not happen now, but may happen in the future.